Hey everyone, hope you're having a good afternoon. Thanks for being here with us. We're going to talk about the metaverse economy today with our speakers, and we have a very stellar lineup with us, industry leaders who will delve into this topic. We have Sebastien, Borget, CEO of the Sandbox, community-driven gaming platform where creators can meet, they can design, they can monetize their gaming experiences using blockchain technology. We have Sami, Chlagou, CEO of Cross the Edges, a transmedia ecosystem that blends fantasy and sci-fi. And leverage blockchain technology to create a rich universe around many things, games, books, but also cards, so many things to talk about. We have Zeeth from the CEO of Bitboy, Bitcoin-based gaming console launched by OrdzGames that you can see here, but also upstairs with the booth. And last but not least, we have Backner, head producer at Decentraland Foundation, for those who don't know, 3D virtual world platform that allows users to connect, buy, sell on virtual land. And I'm Flav from the Blockchain Game Alliance. We are a non-profit organization, a community to promote blockchain within the gaming industry. We gather 350 companies with these gentlemen and Decentraland as well. And our role is to provide some assistance and some support to all of our companies in terms of visibility, giving some credibility, but with networking opportunities as well. So very happy to have everyone for our conversation today. I think when I looked at the subject, the topic we were assigned to, and think of the different topics we should talk, in this session, we're going to explore different things around how gaming drive community growth. We're going to see about how to empower creators, how we leverage this decentralization part of it, but also, if we have time, talking a little bit about AI. So to kickstart this conversation, I'm going to ask you, Bay, with the first question. You communicated on something called the 2025 Manifesto at the beginning of this year, if not the end of last year. Tell us a little bit about this and how you are aiming to grow your community for this year.
Hey, who's been in Decentraland? Okay, awesome. Who's been in Decentraland in the last 3 to 6 months? All right, cool. So yeah, Decentraland each year writes a manifesto to say where our community is going. If you don't know us, we're a DAO and we're also a foundation. So the foundation sets the kind of direction in where we're taking the social virtual world, which is in Decentraland. And for this year, last year was all about foundation. So we created a completely new downloadable desktop client. We needed to do that because the browser-based version of Decentraland wasn't going to roadmap into things like VR and mobile, which we know for our whole community that we want to take everyone with us into those environments. And so in 2025, we in October last year launched the beta of the client. This year, the whole manifesto is about activation. So we know that for our creator, everything that we do is UGC, user-created content in Decentraland. We're a completely open world. We have an amazing community of 3D builders, coders, creators that create the experiences that happen within Decentraland itself. I, as a producer and foundation, create the program of cultural activities and activations that happen across the social world. So, for example, coming up is Metaverse Fashion Week in April. But this manifesto in 2025 is about activation. So we see it as this flywheel, that we bring people in, we allow them to create, and then from that, we have a cityscape economy booming within Decentraland, which allows people to then create lives, create second incomes, create the sense of identity, sense of connection, the sense of social that happens within the virtual world itself.
I mean, Decentraland, we know Decentraland for quite some time. Do you feel like it is different to engage with your community of creators today if you have to compare with what it was 4 or 3 years ago, your relationship with them?
Yeah, that's been part of the amazing part of working in Decentraland, in that we are definitely a community. Like we just saw the ape coin and the ape chain community. And we have that in 3D. The community that we work with, a lot of people start out as speculators, came in the hype cycle. We tend to see those people start building because they understand that they are part of a community. They start to create things. They start to understand, okay, this is a wearable. I want to be able to do that. How can I learn how to do that? I want to create an experience. I want to stream into the metaverse or the virtual world. I want to start producing. And we see that, you probably see it in the Sandbox as well, that kind of organic change, that people come in and they start picking up skills. They start interacting with other community members. They start teaching. And it's, our builders now are so much more savvy and connected and work as almost like a movement in creating experience. And so it's a really privileged position that I'm in to be able to, I don't know if you know, but we published the manifesto, and there's a form in the manifesto that says, what do you want to do? You know, like, how do you want to be involved? And I have a phone call with every single person that submits that form. So I just have weeks of talking to community. Like, okay, you want to do this? Awesome. How can I help you do that? Okay, you want to do this? Okay, that's awesome. And so it means that we have that dialogue, and I'm not sure that happens outside of Web3 communities, where you just have such contact and back and forth with the community itself.
You can actually rely on that, because we did something a few months back with the BGA, where we try to build something on Decentraland based on a specific operation you were doing there, and we had a conversation, not face to face but online, to say, okay, what we should do, what should make sense for the community, yours and ours. So yeah, can definitely rely on that for sure. Seb, if we talk about Sebastien, sorry, he's my boss a little bit, so I can say Seb sometimes. If we talk about numbers, 580,000 unique players were part of the Alpha Season 4, which happened at the end of last year. Can you highlight other key factors of success for the fourth season you just did?
All right, so but maybe to put things in context, 2024 was literally our best year so far at Sandbox. Despite the bear market, we were able to onboard over 1 million new users with the wallet. We keep being a driving force to bring new people to Web3 through the brand activation we have, through the product update that we have, and now through the season we had. And the Alpha Season 4 was really breaking all records again. Like, we had over 580,000 unique players who engaged over 10 weeks from October to December. They played across 100 experiences, 40 with top brands like Attack on Titan and many, many cool entertainment stuff, and 60 content made by the community. So some of the best experiences that we picked after various contests and game jams across the year were featured and exposed to hundreds of thousands of players during that moment. And the players, they not only like had fun, they collected NFTs, they generated blockchain transactions. I think over 1.2 million blockchain transactions overall, over 330,000 unique NFTs were sold to those players, generating a revenue stream for us, but also for the creators, buying battle pass, equipment, avatars, a lot of things that you need to participate in the metaverse and to enhance your experience as well. And for us, it's been like a great testament to our, like, if you keep focusing on building your product and improve it progressively over time, delivering a better experience, faster loading, cooler and more fun actually at the end of the day, people will care. And it really has put us for 2025 to like, let's do even better, focusing on what we've been doing great. So we'll launch not just one season, but ideally 3 or 4, starting March. Another new season, Alpha Season 5 is coming, bring massive IPs, massive brands again. And it's built on a new version of Game Maker that we just announced yesterday. So yesterday was a great day. We announced a new update of our Game Maker that brings even more fun, more social feature, multiplayer, new game rules, new victory condition. So we're very focused on the aspect of like how you empower creators to do more fun things. Because at the end of the day, if those creators, they cannot deliver better experience, more diverse experiences, what you as player and user will engage with will not be fun. And it creates this like virtuous circle. If we empower the creators community is happy, they talk about it, it brings players having fun. People have built like great trust because they have great experience both virtually and physically IRL around the brand of Sandbox. they buy avatars, they buy land, they buy the Sand token, and overall that contributes to create like this trust in the brand and everyone. I'm pretty sure everyone in the room knows about Sandbox, right? I didn't ask. I don't think I need to ask anymore nowadays. Who has Sand in the room? Maybe. Right, great. Okay, that's a great room. Thank you. You're part of our community, and we want you to feel like having Sand is going to give you an access towards like the future of the economy of the metaverse, and you can trust us in continuing to deliver as we've been doing for the past 5 years, and we're going to do for the next 5 more.
Why I wanted you to talk about that, specifically the alpha seasons in terms of communities, because it's exactly the time when you engage with your community of builders, but your community of users as well. But there are temporary activations, like they don't last. Do you feel like there is a very big challenge in terms of persistence when you try to build your community of players?
That's a great question. You know, we've tried many things. We've tried to just let's do a series of smaller events consistently and like non-stop. So you have like Valentine's, and then it follows on Chinese New Year, Valentine, it follows on, and you beside like seasonal, you add like your own based on brands and various activation. At the end of the day, we found that too small versus more concentrated event with some periodic break. The latter was actually more effective. You know, like why? Brings more marketing power, brings more rewards, brings more brand all at once, creates a virtuous network effect. And it's been something that's quite standard in gaming as well. Like you have, I don't know if any of you play Fortnite, for example. Whenever they introduce a new Fortnite season, they push a lot of marketing power. Doesn't mean like there's nothing happening at all in the meantime in Fortnite or in Sandbox. You have all those user-generated content experiences that are still available at any time to play. Those creators, they engage their own community as well to onboard. But the fact we bring that massive exposure, and every brand that we bring support each other as well, that's one of the key value add. And of course, the rewards, like, let's be also transparent, like the rewards contribute a lot toward that. But they are not the only factor. Like we keep surveying the user, asking the community. We do have like survey poll, conversation, IMS, and so on. And we check, like, did you just play for the reward, or did you actually engage, have fun, and so on? And like we're proud to see like 80% of people were having fun really with the content, and they came for it first. And we see like how they share on social media, the different moments that they have with their friends online, and so on. Those are authentic moments. And we can see that whenever they come to the booth as well. Like they say, hey, I've been holding my land for so much time, I just bought new land, or I've been having sand, or I heard that I've been a player since season 1 and I had all those deep patches. This is definitely a proof of engagement and that we are on the right track when we engage our community.
Perfect, thanks. Sami, you grow your community based on your cross-media strategy. I mean, I said it before, the release of the book, another one might be coming, the physical cards, the success of the first game, the second game coming as well. On other initiative, we cannot talk, obviously. What did you learn about everything you're doing so you can make sure to empower every time your audience?
Hello, everyone. Oh, mic is good. First of all, you know, I came from the gaming industry where I spent 14 years now. And in 2020, we realized that the market is saturated. There are too much game, and like very few of them are able to generate revenue. And very quickly, we understood that if we really want, you know, to being able to create something sustainable, we will create it, not a game, but an IP. So or you created a brand, or you created an IP. And this will allow you, you know, to put the people around that and have like a lot of motivation. So Cross the Age has become, starts with a book. It used to be like a book, a digital book. This digital book starts with 100 downloads, then 1,000, then 100,000, then million downloads, allowed us to print a physical book. The first book is released. It's a saga of 7 books. The second book will be released this year. And this is very exciting because absolutely everything is linked to the book. So the game, have like the same universe. From that, we have like to be on the same way. So developing all the IP in the meantime. That means that the movie animation, but also like the card, the art, physical card, digital card, and also like the gaming experience. We start with the trading card game. In end of 2022, beginning of 2023, where we released this game on App Store and Play Store, and then from that, we now releasing a second game with like a new experience where everything is linked together. So if I learn one thing very important, it's the key of success of Cross the Ages is not the game himself. It's the way of how people become fan for the brand. We have some people just reading the book, other just like loving the anime, and other like loving everything. And this created a link very strong because people have like a very high feeling about like the brand. I'll give you an example. We organize the World Championship of Cross the Ages in south of France, Marseille. 2,200 people came. Like from Japan, from Korea, from Brazil, from China, and this was insane. Like how you can bring people, like they pay the flights to come, and they do like that because like they really feel themselves, inside the community. So I believe that after the 5-year in journey, like in crypto, that it's like infinite time. If we get the people with us, it's because like they really love, like the universe, love the brand, love like everything creating around that.
Love it. Zeeth, on your side, I mean, what did you learn from the past years building your audience around the Bitcoin/ordinal ecosystem based on the product you release, which is available upstairs as well? How are you aiming to grow that audience?
Yeah, so as background, I did come from Ethereum side before Bitcoin, and I do own Sandbox Land, Sand Token, Decentraland Token. So that's where I got into gaming and Web3, and it was an NFT Degen. When Ordinals became possible to do NFTs on Bitcoin, we shifted to do a new project there, and starting with gaming. And inscribing video game files, retro game files onto Bitcoin as ordinal inscriptions. Later pivoted to a hardware gaming device, putting retro games onto a physical gaming device. It's actually a phygital device that also has a 3D version that's inscribed on Bitcoin. At the time of inscription, it was the 6th largest inscription ever, about 4 megabytes as a 3D model. And there are children inscription of that inscription, which you can click on the start button and it brings the console to you, and you can play a few games on there. And we can update those games as using recursion as we move forward. But these are getting very technical into ordinals. To answer your question, Flavien, how do I find last year? It's been a great year. Our hardware product was launched in April of last year, right here in Paris. We had events at I think it was Paris Blockchain Week. We had events in Dubai Token 2049 and a game event in Hong Kong. The reception was marvelous because we were the first to announce such thing, a crypto gaming device. We instantly sold 3,000 units. We shipped to 57 countries worldwide. Our biggest market in Europe is France, probably because we did our events here, our launch here, and where we've just been getting so much positive feedback from everyone that now you have something tangible that you can play video games with. And granted, we are not the power of the device is not enough to play AAAs. It's not a Steam Deck level of device. It's meant for retro games, meant for the Game Boy, everything before the PlayStation 1. You can play on this device, load up your own ROM, and then we have our gaming studio, OrdzGames, which launch games that is playable on this as well. But in touch with today's topic about the metaverse, one development, I know you wanted to talk about AI later in the panel, but I think it's impossible to talk about metaverse without talking about AI, because especially in Asia, every content creation, everything that requires creating content is getting revolutionized by AI. Starting out with e-commerce, 80% of the item listings you see on e-commerce sites in Asia are now replaced by AI-generated content. With gaming, all of the game project founders I know, they are replacing their personnel with AI capabilities to create 3D content and to replace. So that's, and also for our types of games that are smaller files, there are AI tools right now that you can basically tell the AI what game to create and how you want the characters to look like, and they're able to create those content instantly. On the other hand, there is the AI agent that's replenishing metaverses all across the various games that we're collabing with over in Asia. So for me, one thing that we are working towards is bringing those capabilities into our gaming device so that you can interact with AI inside of our Bitboy gaming device, and also to build new devices that have AI capabilities within them. And then this, people debate about the definition of metaverse, but according to Yacht's definition, we all, everything that we do virtually, everything that's non-physical is part of the metaverse that we are in. And I find that this is the next step, right? That we're working towards is to take advantage of this new technology and to bring more of that, to democratize it and bring more people into what's possible with those content creation tools.
Wonderful, thanks. So we talk about community, obviously, because it's the topic is metaverse economy. So you need a community, and you need to have a sense of how to build and to grow this community. But you are nothing if you don't think about how they interact with the creators and how yourself, as a company and a project, you empower those creators. So if we go deep dive into these specific subtopics, Seb, I mean, creators is at the core of what you're building in this sandbox. You launched something last year which was called the Curator program. I would love to know about what you learned about that and if it's actually deciding on what's going to come next for them.
Yes, like the core mission of Sandbox is to empower anyone to become a creator, and it's the same mission since we started actually doing the Sandbox as a mobile game back in 2011, and it continued as we built the blockchain version 3D in 2019. 2024, we dubbed it like the year of creators, meaning like we focus first on the creation tools, and then we launched initiative to support the creator first into the education space. We run more than 12 global bootcamp, 2 days long, where we hosted directly creators in 12 different cities around the world, and they learn from our team the best practice to as a beginner and then as a more advanced creator with the tool. We also have been pushing for various online streamers, a lot of documentation. Many schools and academies have been using Sandbox, specifically in Hong Kong, in Korea, in Japan, in Turkey, to teach about like content creation in the metaverse and the possibilities around. And I think overall, like there's over 1,000+ students around the world that have been manipulating the creation tool and shipping some project on their land thanks to that. We also have been organizing various contests and game jam, onboarding top cool brands like Chupa Chups and so on to partner and like create, incentivize people to create games for them, like supporting UGC. And not forgetting, like, it's not just great to onboard people to become creator. You also want people to start making a living from creating, because if not, it's not going to drive some kind of sustainability. Specifically, as Sandbox has a lot of first-time creator, people who are not professional in the industry before, but like just found out about it. With the 2 Builder Challenge that we did last year, we distributed close to 3 million sand, or 4 million sand in rewards, meaning that some of the top creators, they earn over 400,000 sand, which is roughly, based on variation of the price, was $200-something thousand, which is actually a lot of money for like an individual or small team. And the average they earned between 10,000 to 50,000 sand, which is still, as an individual, like a very sizable amount of money that can allow you to support at least yourself and eventually a few team members. At the end of the day, like we don't want to promise that every creator will become like a millionaire and like focus too much on the speculation, but we want to make sure that people start to understand the importance of like earning a revenue thanks to the technology here and learning how they can be also like more they gain autonomy and acquire the skill to promote themselves and to grow their own community and revenue stream. So this year we'll continue introducing a new builder challenge to support the new version of the Game Maker 011 that launched yesterday. So again, we'll bring, I think, over 3 million sand in rewards to the creator to support them. But we're also going to introduce features that make creators able to monetize by themselves. So we're looking at like how we introduce creator shops in their games, how we introduce the ability to buy straight in the game rather than on the browser with a wallet. We will have like fiat ramp up and ramp off for the creators. And ultimately, we're one of the top project, confidential, not yet announced, will basically give more freedom to the creator and for more decentralization on how they can monetize their content.
Love it. Looking forward to hearing that. Mindful of the time, I know I'm asked to end that in a few minutes, but I really want to know for Decentraland, what is your plan to incentivize creators, especially for this year?
Yeah, similarly, we've got a big program. It's starting. We've got 3 programs. If you want to have the full rundown of it, go on the manifesto. So decentraland.org/blog. You'll see there's a big post about the manifesto there. The one that's coming up first is called Creator Connect. Starts this quarter. It's about pairing very well-known 3D artists that are not within Web3 and they're not within virtual worlds with some of our leading creative studios that are working in Decentraland. So if you have a creative studio and you want to be involved in that, it should be super exciting because we want to encourage that dialogue between people. My background is I had a VR art fair, so one of the reasons for that art fair was including this dialogue between people that are creating in IRL and the creation in virtual worlds. So that's going to be onboarding from next quarter, but we're announcing all the details this quarter.
Wonderful. Sami, so you have a large spectrum of format. You're working for the Cross the Ages IP. If we are in Web3, do you see a world where creators coming from everywhere will be able to have an impact into Cross the Edges itself, like sharing the ability for everyone to actually impact the story or maybe the visuals of what we could see in the Cross the Edges IP? Do you see that coming on your side?
Well, at the beginning, when we launched Cross the Ages on the trading card game, it was complicated, to include the community inside the rule of the game. You created your gameplay, so it's pretty difficult because you have like a game with like rules, and it's complicated to say, oh, let's change the rules. So you really have, to go straight. However, with a new experience called Arise, everything will change. So in 2 months, we're gonna release this second game that we spent 2.5 years, on that. It's an MMO, like an action RPG multiplayer. We're super proud because like the quality is really insane, but we're super proud because we include the community inside, like the process. That means that at the beginning, we're going to give them the opportunity to create a skin inside the game, to work into the weapon inside the game, and also like to give them like more and more, to give them the opportunity to create it like their own experience inside the game, and like to give them a reward for that. And this is going to be like experience as Fortnite, and for us, indeed it will take time, but however, this is going to be like the next future, because when you have fan of people from the IP that they know about the book, they know about the manga, the audiovisual that we made, you will have like people very deep inside the project, and the experience will be very specific, and they will reach all the people, because when you created this kind of experience, you always get like emotion. So our experience will be our experience, but the experience of the player is like very deep on that. So this is exactly what we expect to do on the next month and year. First of all, we're gonna release this game, and then we're gonna give the opportunity for everyone, to step by step become like a real actor of the universe of Cross the Ages. About like all the cards, for example, on the trading card game, every year we organize a contest to allow someone from the community to design one new character. So we give them like some specs, some rules, and then like you have like a contest this year where we receive like many hundreds of people, design like some creator, and we select the top 3, and the best cards become like an official card of the collection of Cross the Ages.
So to make sure, the very, very last question for the 1 minute we have, to make sure that everyone have the same amount of question for you, you obviously want to expand the ecosystem you have within the product you have in terms of the game developers who will be able to be involved in that product you have. So how do you want to involve the game developers into your product?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a developer site on our website. If you go to bitboy.games, you can access to learn more about how to launch your games on a platform. It runs Android stock, so basically, if you have an Android version of the game, then they can play on the device, and it just need to be modified for the screen aspect ratio. And we are also launching an Android version on Google Play that's going to be available to play on the vertical screen with the button layouts. So you have a mobile version of this, but you can also have the physical device to play those games.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. I know there were so many other topics I wanted to talk, especially when we have such a broad topic like the metaverse economy. That would be wonderful to continue the conversation maybe elsewhere with you, because there are things like we all talk about the interpolability thing. Now it's a little bit around cross-pollination, which is something I like as well to talk about. So thanks for your time, guys. It was wonderful to have you sharing your insight and experience. And thank you very much for you.